I've been getting a lot of direct messages, private messages, and a lot of people have the same exact question. So it's always best to, if you ask in group, if it's something that you need a direct message for, obviously that's understandable. But just keep in mind, like the goal of this group is to to work together. Obviously, I'm going to post all my trades. We just haven't been in a good spot as far as making a bunch of trades go. I've been talking about putting money into Tether, and that's a trade. That's a position. That's where I've been for the past 4 or 5 months. Is hey, you need to find a way to put some of your money in Tether. Some people listened, some people didn't. So either way, like I can only give you, here's what I'm doing, here's what's working for me, and then so people trading right now through all this it's possible, but 95% of day traders lose money. So I want you guys to think long term. I want to find good entry points. I want you to learn while this market, this bear market's not over. Like we've got a good ways to go. It wouldn't surprise me. Another 6 months to a year is quite possible. I think we'll start to move higher at the end of next year, possibly in the middle. I'm hopeful it happens sooner, but I'm just being realistic. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things. No hype, no fluff. That's me. A lot of people got into it at the wrong times. A lot of people lost a lot of money because they weren't able to define the right time to jump into the market. Jump right into the market. So the key is you've got to take the time and learn this market while it's down. Learn these videos. I spend a lot of time making these videos for you guys, and I encourage you guys to kind of, even if you don't understand it, ask questions. I want to help you guys, and I'm going to make videos. I got a lot of questions, basically the same exact questions tonight, so that's what I'm going to cover. I'm completely in Tether right now. So I'm working all profits. Everything that I'm working with right now is all profits. I even took a bunch of money out and put it in the bank on 2 occasions, and I let you guys know that because I just knew like this is going to be a long road, and I'll be able to work with what I have and make a ton of money. It's really about balancing risk. So instead of just throwing money at this market, I want everybody to focus on how do I make good decisions. So this whole idea of we got to get to this bottom and then everything's going to be okay. We're going to have run-ups in between. There's going to be a lot of trades to make. So don't feel like there's this one big, huge thing that's going to happen and everything's going to change. A good thing about how things are going with the YouTube channel, obviously it's growing real fast. I'm about to hit 20,000 subscribers. I get some inside information as far as just what is happening with a lot of these cryptos. I get people that approach me all the time and they say, hey, we've got this news coming out, can you cover it? And it happens before the news. So the great thing about this group is I'll have a lot more inside information just because people are approaching me and saying, hey, you know what? We want to know if you're willing to cover this ahead of time. So and that's just going to become more and more of an advantage for everybody in this group. Also, I want to talk about the trend is your friend. So when I say that, if you're buying these dips all the way down, you're buying against the trend. So you want to buy confirmed uptrend. So everybody is trying to catch this bottom. Listen, it's not about nailing the bottom on the tee. It's about we're going to get a bottom. We're going to identify that there's probably a reversal here, but we're going to see a confirmed uptrend, and then we'll start to trade that. I feel like 3,000 is completely in the cards. I was hoping we would get, so just to talk about this real fast. So this is a 12-hour Bitcoin chart. I was hoping for a morning star reversal pattern right here, just to show you what that looks like. So bullish morning star. Okay, so you've got a red candle, and then just depending on your red or green candle here, a small bodied candle, and then a reversal. So this is basically this bullish morning star reversal pattern. So it's important to start learning some of these basic patterns, inside bars, morning star patterns, reversal patterns, to know when the trend is changing. You can't bet everything on these reversals, but it's just another indicator that you can use, another tool in your arsenal. So again, I was hoping for, we've got this doji right here. I was hoping for a green candle, green big solid body candle right here. that would be a good reversal, and we might see a little bit of a move higher. At some point, we're going to kind of get at least a temporary bottom, and I feel like we're going to run up a little bit. You got to keep in mind, here's how these institutional traders work. Okay, so if you can just imagine, here's all the way back in May. Okay, they're like, actually, we'll go back to April. They're like, okay, we're going to give them a little bit because we've already taken, Bitcoin's down, we've already taken 50-60% of their money. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give them a little bit. We're going to let them buy it up, and then we're going to start the sell-off. And so we're going to take from them. And notice how this level is lower than this level. So they're going to give a little and then take it back. Give a little to keep you in the market and keep you putting money in, and then they're going to take it back. Then we have this period where nothing really happened, and all of a sudden the bottom falls out. So you just have to know this market is so psychological. It is, the manipulation is to the point where they're just trying to keep you in the market, keep your money here. And this hodl mentality is something that for some people it works and it's understandable, it's easy, it's simple, but it's not necessarily the best way. So I have been able, if I wanted to buy right now all Bitcoin, I could buy 3 times more Bitcoin than I ever imagined. And I took about half my money, those profits, out of the market already. Like, it's phenomenal what Tether not being in the market has done, because you could see this coming. And I can only recommend that you guys, take these steps or take this advice. And a lot of people are, I want to hodl. It's already down this high, up in this region, 6,000. It's already down at the bottom, so I can't make anybody make these changes. You'll get to a point where you're like, you know what I'm doing is not working. I need to try something else. And until you reach that point, there's nothing that's really going to change it. But in my eyes, I think hodling is another form of FOMO, where you're the reason why you want to hodl is because you think it's going to go up and just shoot up and skyrocket tomorrow, which it's not. It's going to be a slow process. Could we go up in a week 50-70%? It's happened. But also before that, you get a huge drop off. So let's talk about right now. This is Bitcoin USDT daily chart. So we've got some bullish divergence. So what's that? So I made a video on it. I hope that you guys watched it. Bullish divergence. You see the price action is declining, but the relative strength index is increasing. So the strength, so that means there's these underlying strength that's improving in this market. So this is also extremely oversold. So you got your RSI down here. It's at about 22 right now, which is very low. So typically we'll get a good bounce off of this level. Now it's possible that we start to see a little bit of bounce and we get a nice little run up. There's some important resistance around 4,300. So it's completely possible we run up to 4,300. Right before that, there's some resistance at 3,800. So look for a bit of a run up, 3,800. And if we pass 3,800, then we go to 4,283. So that's in the cards. That's a pretty good probability that we're going to get a bounce soon. Will we go down to 3,000 and then bounce? That's possible too, because there's technical analysis is not going to tell us the future. But what it's going to do is it's going to say this could happen, or this could happen. It'll give us some definitive ideas on what directions we could go. And then you can only react as you see signs that those are happening. And that's why it's so important to be able to have the allotted time to watch these markets. So that's where I try to keep you guys updated as far as everything goes. Let me just go over my notes real fast. Don't be in a hurry to dump money into this market. We have a ton of time as far as, if you don't nail this bottom, it's not about, the money in crypto is not about nailing the bottom or the top. The money in crypto, it's made in the middle. The money is not made catching this bottom down here back in September of last year. The money's not made nailing it here. The money is made confirmed uptrend. You get confirmation of an uptrend, and then you get close to the top and you see indications. See how this RSI is very overbought. Get up close to here and you're going to exit. So you're buying in here, and you're selling here. Yeah, you're not going to get this distance, but who cares? It's not a loss. It's an opportunity cost. And you're just the best traders in the world cannot nail these bottoms and the tops. So there's no way that we could possibly think we can. But you got to concentrate on making your money here in the middle. So with that, the trend is your friend. Trade with the trend. Buy confirmed uptrends. 2 years from now, none of this will really matter. But I think if I can get Bitcoin at 30% cheaper, possibly in the future, I can get 30% more Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up to 100,000 one day and I got 30% more of it. I get a couple more Bitcoins. You know, how much is that worth? You know, so to me, that's my strategy. So you have to find a strategy that works for you. And I respect everybody's strategy individually. It's possible that Bitcoin could go as low as 900. So buying in at 3,000 could mean substantial losses. We don't know. There's nobody that knows. Nobody can see the future. But as we get closer, you'll get those indications. And again, it's not about that on the spot, nail it that day, that second, be there at the right exact time, because it's not really likely. Most important thing about this group is I want to encourage everybody to practice making decisions, even if you're just using small amounts. If you've lost this money here, putting some money in Tether is a good learning experience. Tether, TrueUSD, Pax, whatever stablecoin you want to use. When I say Tether, it's just kind of a generic term. Tether's up earlier today over $1. So just keep in mind that FUD has happened on multiple occasions. But pick the stablecoin that you're comfortable with. You've got to learn how to use these stablecoins to your advantage. And we'll get to points where it'll be important to Tether. And I talk to a lot of people about that on a daily basis in the group. We're going to get a little bit of a run up. Tether at the top, because I feel like we're going to continue lower. If it doesn't happen, your money doesn't decrease. The amount of money that you have, USDT, stays the same. So you didn't really lose anything. Yeah, there's an opportunity cost, but unless you're selling the tops, it doesn't even matter. So this is on log scale down here. So if you turn off log scale, it looks completely different. It's a mess. So you want to put on log scale. Okay, and so this is, you have to go to Bitstamp for this chart because they go back to 2013, possibly longer than that. So this is one run up to the next. This is very important. So again, you got 4 years time between these two peaks. Okay, so this is not a short process. Is it gonna be 4 years to the next run up? Maybe. It could be. Is it gonna be 3? Probably more likely. We've already been through 1 year. We've got probably another 6 months to a year of this type of action where it's kind of a bottom. However, it's still kind of moving higher. After here, it's moving sideways, and then it starts to go higher. So there's a lot of this is basically almost 2 years of moving higher, possibly more. So it's just kind of a slow move higher. And so we're getting closer to that point. See this huge candle, this huge red sell candle? Okay, that's a good sign of capitulation because, number one, you've got a bunch of, see how the wick's really long on the bottom? That means there was a bunch of buy pressure. The price dropped. It dropped from 266 to 147, which is almost 40% in a week. Okay, these are the weekly charts. So it dropped 40% in a week and then got bought back up. So what does that say? All the weak hands were selling, and finally some of these institutions and smart money got into the market. It's important to see that we had this big sell-off, and here's the indicator that you want to watch: volume. So look how high this volume is compared to this volume. It's not anywhere close. Okay, it's less than half. So a lot of people are saying, oh, this could be the reversal right now. I just don't, just like when I was redrawing that breakout of the giant triangle that we've been in for months and months, and everybody was saying, oh, we're going to break out higher. It broke out of that triangle, and I was doubtful about it because volume is the indicator that proves your theories correct or incorrect. We're looking for a bunch of volume coming in. Okay, so we just haven't got that yet. You see, we went below this trend line. Okay, so if we do the same thing here, and we've actually gotten below this trend line, which tells me we might get a little bit of a run up, and we could potentially move sideways for a little while and kind of run up this way. but we're real close. Middle of next year, we'll start to see. This is showing May. I work with a lot of ICOs. They talk to me all the time, and a lot of ICOs have pushed off until April and May. So why did they pick this? They have people they pay a lot of money to obviously give them investment advice. So I really feel like this is when we're going to start to see some big changes. End of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, there'll start to be a lot of positive change in this market. However, I do think we're going to get a little bit of a run up and then continue sideways. So if we continue lower, it possibly could delay things a little bit more. So we just, again, everything with this market changes daily. It constantly changes. So just keep in mind, ask me questions and let me respond by making these videos, because it's a lot more effective in my eyes. So always, any questions you have, always ask. I'm always available for questions. In groups, we have a lot of new people. I want to encourage everybody to interact with the group. A lot of people in the group have been here for a while, since the beginning, and they just understand how things operate, and they've seen a lot of things, and they've been through a lot of there's a lot of psychology to this. There's a lot of mental anguish that we've gone through together. And it's important, we can use this as a psychological support group in a sense, because this market, there's so much psychology in this. That's kind of what it is. I've kind of come to the realization that a lot of this is just relearning a lot of bad habits that have been developed. So it's relearning, learning not to FOMO. Hodling, like I said, is a form of FOMO, because you want to hodl so tight that you're willing to go down with a sinking ship. You got to learn how to take losses. I'm not saying sell now, but I'm saying when we get a run up, even if it's just $100, take $100, whatever coin you want, sell it, put it in Tether, and just having that money on the sideline is going to teach you a lot of discipline. There's certain things I can say to you, but they're not really going to register until you try it. And so that's why I say you got to try with small amounts. Listen, you guys are amazing. I appreciate your support. We're all going to get rich together. We're going to make a ton of money. And this is just one part of the process. Thanks so much.